Hey guys, this is RealScope82 and this is some more TT Sport. And after yesterday's video about trashy driving and punting from the other side of the universe, today I'm gonna show you the stuff that actually went sorta well. At least the best races I had last week in the weeklies. And this one I started from pole, but this goddamn Megan is just too fast in my slipstream. And I go a wee bit wide here, so I open up the inner lane for the Mercedes. Sadly, that means that I'm way down to third. Thankfully, though, we've opened up a solid gap down to fourth place. So at least there's room for a little mistake, maybe. That might come in handy, because, you know, we have a bit of awkward contact here, because I felt that he kept driving into my side, so I gave him back a little of what he was giving me, and oh, no. One wheel on the green, and that's what happened. Damn, down to fourth. Can we keep the hurricane behind us? Only time will tell. Sadly, though, we were actually settling in on second place before this travesty happened, but a driver error, nothing more to say about that, really. But I've closed the gap up to another Mercedes. This was actually the second race in a row I had been racing this dude. Fairly clean overtake, but he gets ghosted, so he doesn't get run off the track, but I still think that was a pretty clean overtake, because he did go wide. But we continue the fight, because he does have the muscle power. My little Alpha can't really compete with that in a straight line. But in the corners, though, I'm way faster. At the checkered flag, though, I got the third place. Not really what I was hoping for with the pole position, but hey, what can you do? Next race up here, and I'm starting in second, so maybe I won't fall down to fourth. Maybe not. But we have another Alpha 4C in front of us. That was foreseen to be the best car for this track. Ooh, look at that. The Lost Janner was really trying to see if he could find a gap, but there was no gap to be had. Sadly, though, the man in front, he does open up a bit of a gap to me through the first corner. And he does hold on to that quite well. But then again, I was faster than the guy in third place, because they were also fighting a bit before the Mustang got away. But he held his first place until this happened. The little boss was not the boss at the end. I sail into first place, and basically that's how the cookie crumbles, because they could never catch me, and the rest of the race was fairly boring. So let's cut into the checkered flag for the first win of the day. Nice. Next race, after this little show and tell, I've moved on to the classic cars, and this is the Skyline R32. And I start in second place again, with an Italian guy in front of us. And he does brake very weirdly in the middle of everything there, so I accidentally punt him a wee bit, and we have a bit of contact. He does recover, but oh, he goes off the track. And into second goes Matt Marius. And I must say, the upcoming battle with Mr. Matt Marius is probably the most fun I've had in a intense battle so far in my 1.5 to 2 months with Gran Turismo. Because look at his racing lines. They're so smooth. And I am just fighting this goddamn brick of a car around the track. I did this race right after racing the Group 4 cars, so this one had seriously no handles. He is very close at this point. So I'm trying to zigzag a bit so he doesn't get the slipstream. But in the end, he does get on the inside, but as you will see through the race, my first corner is way faster than his, but he is so much better at the whole technical part of the track. I'm just better at bustling through the first corner with a lot of speed. Oh, I go wide, and Matt Maris is straight into the lead. And this is something that will happen a couple of times throughout the race, because we were very equal over a whole lap. Not in these turns, because he was far superior to me, sadly. But look at this, he manages to open up a gap for, I don't know, it's about 8/10 at this point, maybe up to a second. So I was a bit afraid at this point that I wasn't going to catch him again. But through the first corner, I basically closed that whole gap, muscling it through, and right back in his tailpipe. Really nice, and he must have been a bit to seeing me there, because he did have a very nice gap down to me. But I think if we were driving with tire wear and stuff like that, then my way of taking that corner would kill my tires in a matter of minutes, while he's doing it the proper way. But I'm switching the camera over to Matt Marius, just so we can enjoy his racing lines, because he is very smooth. And as we come down the straight again, I can say that this was actually the second race I did with these cars. The first one, which was a win, I completely forgot to save the replay, so that was a super sad face. But again, I nearly closed the whole gap just by wrestling the car into turn 1 with a lot of speed. And I do normally cut out here and there in the replays, but I just think that this fight against Matt Marius was, like I said, the best one I've had, and I just couldn't bear to actually cut any of it out, because I think we were both on the edge of getting this win in the end. So you really need to get the whole picture, because Matt Marius was probably the better driver. He was really a lot faster in the technical aspects, but I got some good speeds here and there. And again, here at the end of the straight, I did get some slipstream, and I am ahead. And I do again brake a little later and carry more speed with me. But he's starting to catch on, the good Matt Marius, because he is still right behind me. I did not open a gap through the first turn. At this point in the race as well, there was no doubt that me and Matt Marius was clearly the fastest on the track. We had opened a nice little gap down to 3rd place. So we basically just had our own little dogfight, but a very gentleman's dogfight. And after the race completed, we did trade pleasantries, which I don't really do often, but this was just such a nice fight we had, and he apparently agreed. And I am definitely gonna find him on PlayStation Network to just tell him that I've made this video also highlighting his skills as a driver. Again, ooh, he nearly had me in that first turn, but again, I just pulled through with a little more speed, and we had a little contact between my rear and his nose, but nothing that altered any of our lines really that much. And he's still right on my tail to the very end here. And look at that, I go a bit wide. I could basically have thrown it in that corner. Here we go. I think he loses a bit speed during that little slide there, and that means that I get to drive over the finish line and straight towards the checkered flag which means this was my second win in these cars of the day, and third overall, and my 8th win in the game so far. And if you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even subscribe for more GT Sport.